Hey guys, welcome on in. This is a tutorial unlike anything that we've ever done before. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through how to do the water drops on glass photo project. So first things first, welcome to your camera. Settings for your camera, I would recommend being in manual mode so you have control over the lighting and whatnot in your camera. That way, if your photos are coming out too bright, you can bring down, or if your photos are too bright, you can increase the speed of your shutter. You can close your aperture. Speaking of which, for aperture, we want it as tight as possible. Okay, we want a small aperture so that we're able to capture the larger depth of field. Okay, so you can capture the photo itself and the water droplets. Okay, so also another good idea is to be in complete control of your ISO. And to do that real quick, I want to show you real quick. Okay, so I'm going to hit menu on the back of my camera here, and I'm going to go to my shooting menu, which is the little camera there. And in that shooting menu, 4 options down, you'll see ISO sensitivity settings. If we hit OK on that, we have an option there that says auto ISO sensitivity control. Personally, when it comes to a project like this where we're going to be dealing with a specific lighting and we're looking for a specific look, and it's not something that is going to come quickly, I want to be in control of my ISO. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that to off. That way I am in complete control of my ISO. Okay. In fact, how to change that, if I hit the I button on the back, you're going to see your ISO on the top right. And personally, for myself, you can see that I have 100 for my ISO here. I think that'll work out just fine. Okay. Now, when I currently, my settings are 1/200th of a second for shutter speed. I have an f36 for my aperture, and I have ISO at 100. Okay. Now, f36 for your aperture only can take place if you have your camera completely zoomed in. So you will need to zoom your camera completely in. In fact, that's going to make things a little bit easier for your photo project itself. Okay, so make sure that you have that setting on there. The other thing is this lovely thing right here. Now this right here is a hot shoe transmitter. And the reason why it's called a hot shoe transmitter is because this little port on the top of your camera is called a hot shoe. Interesting name. It's called a hot shoe because in the past, a port on the top that did not have any functionality, that you weren't able to sync up with your camera, was called a cold shoe. Now, so that's where that started. But now, because we can plug something in here and it listens to our camera, it's called a hot shoe. I don't know where they came up with cold shoe to begin with. I have done extensive Google searches. Nothing. Zero. So good luck if you want to do some history review. But the reason why it's called a hot shoe is because it used to be called a cold shoe. There you go. So anyway, hot shoe transmitter. What this does is this little button right here. Actually, I'm going to plug it onto the top of my camera. And then I have a little wheel here, and this wheel I'm going to spin so that locks down. So it's not going to come off of my camera at any point in time. Okay. Now the other piece of this puzzle, I'm going to show you real quick, is our external flash. And our external flash has this lovely guy right here. This is the other side of the hot shoe transmitter. So when I hit my camera, when I take a photo, it's going to send a message to this hot shoe transmitter. That's going to send a message to this. That's going to make my flash flash. Oh, I got to hit the button. Got to turn it on. That's always helpful. Bump, bump, bump. There we go. Ah, it's working. So now when I take a photo, it's going to set this thing off. Okay. Now I've already had the settings into the external flash, so you shouldn't have any issue with that. Really, the only thing that you need to worry about is, let's see if we can see my setup here. I got to tilt that a little bit further down. Hang tight just a second. There we go. All right, there's my setup. So I have my glass here, Rain-X already on it. If it's not quite working for you, we can reapply Rain-X. just let me know and we can reapply that for you. I have my photo. Somebody picked this lovely, colorful photo, and I'm setting this underneath the glass here, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is, again, I'm completely zoomed in. All right, so on my camera right now, I have it set to autofocus. The only issue with that is sometimes it tries to focus on the photo on the bottom of the glass. That is not what I want. What I want it to do is I want it to focus on the water droplet, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead, let's see, I'm about, I don't know, 6 inches away from the glass here. If you get any closer than that, it won't be able to focus. So I'm about 6 inches away from the glass here, and I'm trying to pick where I want to take my photo at. Now, it doesn't matter if it has white sides to it. We are going to crop it in quite a bit. So I'm going to half press so it does its little autofocus. And then I am fine focusing with the focus there. Okay, here we go. Let's try it one more time. There you go. You can see that my flash went off. And I'm going to show you my photo here. Let's see if this shows off. So there's my photo. Okay. Now, as I was mentioning before, let me bring this back up. There we go. So as I was mentioning before, we are going to crop this thing in, and we're going to crop it in a lot. We're talking like probably 1/6 of the size. We're going to break it on down. Okay. Now, if you want to see what that looks like in your preview, you can hit that play button so you're looking at your photo. And then you'll see here, just to the bottom left of your directional pad, there's a little magnifying glass with a plus. You can hit that a couple times and then kind of see what your crop might look like. Okay. And let's see, we're looking for some color in here. I like that big drop right there. I think that's probably what I'm ending up with right there. I like how that looks. All right, so there you go. I would recommend you're going to keep on going at it until it works correctly. You're going to have to play with your lighting. You're going to have to play with your shutter speed just to get it just right. So it may take many attempts to actually end up with your correct photo. Once you're done though, okay, what I want you to do is I want you to take the hot shoe transmitter off of your camera. Okay, again, loosen that up, pull it off to the back. If it's not coming off easily, let me know. Don't force this guy off of here, okay? And just set that next to the glass there. Take your camera with you so you can download your photos, get them into Photoshop, start the editing process. Again, when you're doing editing in Photoshop, you're gonna be cropping it quite a bit. Zoom in, and then maybe mess with some hue and saturation. Contrast, always, again, my favorite. Love good contrast. But just play around with it until you get it just right, okay? But there you go. There's our water drops on glass project. We're gonna end up with some really cool, really original, I would say not your common photography. We don't have a lot of people taking bunches of photos of water on glass. So that's where we got. Thanks for hanging with me, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Take care, guys.